Okay. Very good afternoon to you all. I assume that the stream is perfectly working now. Okay, good to see everyone. I hope everybody is ready to do a few questions, right? That is the plan. We, of course, do have a little more of contract law to discuss as well, which we will be continuing in the lead up to the Diwali celebrations and so on. But in the meanwhile, of course, I do want to do a few questions with you. Today, of course, we're going to do a few contract questions, but tomorrow afternoon, we're also meeting with a few constitutional law questions. So that's what I want to take up right away. Just give me a second, please. So, okay. Okay, Arfa Iqbal, very good afternoon, Arfa. How are you? I hope you're ready for a few questions. A few more people who are live as well, and I've just about shared it so that people can join in. Okay, now by way of a quick introduction, for those of you who have still not had the misfortune of meeting me and are meeting me for the first time, my name is, of course, Debajyoti Das. I graduated from Hidayatullah National Law University. I had also secured an All India Rank 20 in the NLSIU Bangalore entrance in 2006. I have been a Microsoft Intellectual Property Research Scholar, and after graduation, I have actually worked with one of the topmost law firms in India specializing in their capital markets team. I also want to take this opportunity to invite all of you to please join in on the Telegram group, right? That's where I keep posting a lot of the updates about the various sessions and take feedback on what sessions you guys would prefer and so on and so forth. So will be good to have you guys right about actively present there. Now, if you have enjoyed my lectures, of course, I strongly encourage you and advise you that you should use the code TAPE10 to get an additional 10% discount as well for the various subscription programs that we have, starting from the 1 month subscription right up to the 24-month subscription as well. I'm sure a lot of you are already aware of the various unique features of the Unacademy platform, whether it is on the Plus platform, which is the paid classes, or in the special classes platform. We have, for example, the raise a hand and talk to the educator live in the classes, right? So this is for the first time that we have anywhere across the online platform that we have introduced the speak to the educator live concept, where you can actually raise your hand. If the educator authorizes you, then you can speak directly, right? It's a big leap from the ability to only type out your questions and so on. So please make the most of it. Of course, there's unlimited quizzes, right? Live as well as recorded sessions are available to you. You will have various mock tests, sectional tests, and of course the excellent NLU alumni exposure, which you will keep on having. Just a couple of days ago, we had the Law Masters course, which was launched on the 27th, right? That's the 1-year comprehensive batch for CLAT 2022. And also the Law Tigers batch was just launched yesterday, right? And that is starting, like I said, yesterday, 29th of October. And this is a beginner's batch for CLAT 2023. So those of you who have already done a bit of preparation, are already used to sort of the rigors and the challenges of the CLAT examination, maybe the Law Masters batch would perhaps just suit you a little more. And of course, for those of you who are just starting off with your preparation and so on, the Law Tigers batch is probably going to suit you just a little more, right? Anushka is also here. Hi, Anushka. Very, very good afternoon. Very good to see you. I hope you've been having a good day as well. Oh, I'm sure a lot of you are already aware of the live quiz feature for students. That is where you can host your own quizzes as well. You can participate in quizzes that have been launched by the educators and so on, right? So stuff that you're doing on WhatsApp groups and Telegram groups, you can now bring it to the platform itself. And if you're reporting any inappropriate content and you're the first one to report any inappropriate content, of course you will be eligible to claim your prize, and that's the bugs bounty offer, which is going to continue through the month of November. Okay, few questions that I want to discuss with all of you guys. Right there is question number 1. Please go through the question. Please let me know what you think. What you think should be the answer. Of course, I will be discussing the correct answer with you. Yes, what is the deal, guys? Harvey Specter. Harvey Specter. So I'm guessing some of you at least are Suits fans. How many of you have watched Suits? Harvey Specter offers to buy a cow that belongs to Mike Ross. Okay, so Harvey and Mike both are there, huh? For a price of rupees 20,000. Mike is unaware that the cow is already dead, but he agrees to the contract and enters into such contract. Okay, so because he's unaware, right? Okay, with Harvey to sell his horse. The truth about the death of the cow is discovered later. Would the contract still be valid? Would the contract still be valid? That's the very hard the question. A contract, what's the principle? A contract to do an act which becomes impossible, or by reason of some event or the promiser could not prevent unlawful, etc., becomes void when the act becomes impossible or unlawful. Okay. The performance of the contract itself becomes impossible or unlawful. कुछ में से कुछ भी हो. Okay. If it has become impossible to perform, then the contract is not valid. So, what should be the correct answer? Buy a cow and the cow is already dead. If the cow is already dead, right? If the cow is already dead, then that means the performance of the contract. This is the correct answer, right? Performance of the contract has become impossible. So the correct answer is option C, because you don't want to buy a dead cow, right? The purpose cannot be that this one wanted to buy a dead cow. Obviously, the person wanted to buy a cow which is alive, right? And is it not? Sir, is it a horse or a cow? Third last line. Sell his horse. There's yeah, there is a little bit of confusion here. No, I am just going to modify this one right away. I obviously it is, जब हर जगह cow है तो अलग से एक जगह पे यहाँ पे horse का कोई point नहीं है. But that's a very good catch. Yes, this one also should be cow. Cows अलग से नहीं. This one also should be cow. You're absolutely right. Very, very good, Anushka. Thank you so much, Anushka, with the assist right there in the question. Okay, and all of you understood. Obviously, the dead cow purchase करने का point नहीं है, right? The purpose is that this is now it is impossible because the performance of the same has become impossible. Okay, let's move on. Question number 2. Section 10 of the Indian contract. What I'll do is I'll give you guys a minute. Right after that, I will begin with my explanations. Okay, I don't want to disturb you throughout the question. Yes. So what should be the correct answer here? Neil Caffrey puts up an advertisement in front of his house. So this is not necessarily an offer at the very outset. This may or may not be an offer. मामला already dicey हो चुका है. Matt Bomer, okay, in front of his house, selling the house at the price of 30 lakhs. Okay, Matt Bomer sees Neil's advertisement and goes to Neil with the money to buy the house. Okay, Neil refuses to sell the house to Matt, and Matt therein sues Neil for breach of contract. Will Matt be successful? Okay, an auction constitutes only an invitation to offer and not an offer itself. Okay, that's principle number 2. Principle 1 is section 10 of the Indian Contract Act requires a valid offer and acceptance for a contract to be enforceable. That means invitation to offer basically is not going to be enough, right? What you can derive from this whole discussion is invitation to offer is not enough. There must be an actual offer for a contract to become valid. Okay, therefore the intention to be bound by a contract is a test for a valid offer. Okay, so principle 3 तो यहाँ पर हमें बिल्कुल भी ज़रूरत नहीं है. So I think the most important principle to be derived is as far as this section 10. Section 10 में यहाँ पर क्या लिखा हुआ है? Right, requires that these two things are required, right? Offer होना चाहिए and acceptance होना चाहिए. Offer and acceptance होना चाहिए. Now the question is advertisement. The whole question is this advertisement. Is this an offer, right? Or this is an invitation? पूरा issue वहीं पर ही है. Advertisement क्या होता है? Is it an offer or an invitation to offer? Please remember, advertisement is basically an invitation to offer, right? All advertisements are basically invitation to offer. You have a Neil's advertisement, so this is obviously an invitation. Why? What I mean is, for instance, if you're looking at, let's say, when you go to a shopping mall, right? Let's say if you've gone to Pantaloons or Shoppers Stop or आप कहीं पर भी गए, and you are basically looking at those clothes, those items that are on display, right? तो डिस्प्ले में जो क्लोथ्स होते हैं उसमें प्राइस टैग भी लगा हुआ है etc. That is not an offer that has been made by the shop, by Shopper Stop or whoever. What is happening is that is all an invitation to offer, and जब आप उसमें से एक कपड़ा उठाते हैं, right, when you pick up one of the clothes and you take it to the to the counter, right, खरीदने के लिए, you take it to the counter to purchase it and so on. That time what is happening is you are the one who is making an offer. आप अब कर रहे हैं क्या? Offer to purchase, offer of purchase आप कर रहे हैं. Now the shop has to decide whether they want to accept your offer or they don't want to accept your offer and so on. So display पे सिर्फ रखा हुआ है, right? डिस्प्ले पे सिर्फ रखा हुआ है, that is not an offer, that is an invitation to offer. So similarly, advertisement is invitation to offer, and therefore because it is invitation to offer, Matt has no legal remedy. Option C, Matt has no legal remedy because these were all invitation to offer. Therefore option C is the right answer. और इसमें भी क्या था? इसमें भी option C was the right answer. Okay, let's move on. Question number 3 पे अगर हम जा रहे हैं, yes, I'll give you guys a moment again. What do you guys think? have at least 10 questions, right? Okay. Yes, Arfa, you're absolutely right, of course. Arfa ने correct answer भी किया है. Okay. I think everybody has taken their 1 minute, huh? Tom and Jerry? Tom and Jerry. Okay. So Tom agrees. Tom agrees to pay a sum of rupees 20,000. Tom agrees to pay a sum of rupees 20,000 after 4 years against a loan of rupees 10,000. Okay. Tom dies of natural causes in 4 years. Is the contract still valid between Tom and Jerry? See, by this time, I hope all of you are getting a sense of how to approach these questions, right? Step one, what I'm doing is when you're looking at any of these questions that I'm solving, step one, what am I doing? Step one, I'm reading the facts, right? This is step one, and then I go to the principles. हमेशा question paper में पहले तो principles दिया ही होगा, but of course what I'm doing is I'm looking at the facts first, right? And then I'm going back to the principles. So by the time I read the and finish reading the facts, I already have a certain impression of what I think is the correct answer, क्या क्या principles apply होने चाहिए. So when I go to the principles, actually it's easier for me to filter. अच्छा ये तो मैंने सोच ही लिया था और यही अगर कुछ एक्स्ट्रा दिया हुआ है तो then I'll just apply that and be done with it. Okay. A void contract is a contract which ceases to be enforceable by law, becomes void when it ceases to be enforceable. Okay, kind of redundant there, but okay. This makes all those contracts that are not enforceable by a court of law void. Oh my god, okay. So, in this case, 4 साल बाद देना है. Tom dies of natural causes. So if Tom has already died, the contract is no longer valid due to the non-enforceability. How will it be enforced? The person who has to pay the money is already dead. So therefore, in this case, option B, right? In this case, option B becomes the spot on, absolutely correct kind of an answer, right? Anushka, very good. Guys, there's 8 people watching and only 2 likes. इतने सारे questions हम कर रहे हैं. How come? How come? Please drop us a few likes as well. Which of the following cases is now? Okay, so if you've looked at only the YouTube sessions that I've been taking, you will probably not know this answer. But of course, if you have probably looked at your own extra studies or इस type का कुछ किया है, then you might know the answer. Carlyle versus Carbolic Smokeball Company, Harvey versus Face, Hyde versus Wrench, Balfour versus Balfour. Some decently famous cases, right? But the concept of offers and counter offers, right? So what is a counter offer? पहले तो हम, if you guys remember, right? Let me just kind of reiterate it. Any modified acceptance, right? Any modified acceptance is basically a counter offer, right? Where the terms of the acceptance, the general rule is that the terms of acceptance of a contract must be a mirror image, must be exactly the same as the terms of the offer, right? So the moment you modify anything in the acceptance, the moment you modify anything in the acceptance, basically it becomes a counter offer. Okay, Carlyle versus Carbolic Smoke Ball Company, I think C, Arfa. Yeah, that is a very famous case about general offers, right? General offers और ये सब के बारे में Carlyle versus Smoke Ball Company is a very important case. In this situation, right, offer and counter offer के लिए option B, right, Hyde versus Wrench is the correct answer as far as offers and counter offers. And again, I hope all of you have understood what is a counter offer, right? So if I want to sell 10 kgs of sweets to you, I want to sell 10 kgs of sweets to you. You want to buy 5 kgs of sweets. You want to pay whatever X amount of price for the sweets. कुछ भी उस टाइप का कुछ भी any modification या price में कुछ negotiate किया है, किसी चीज में भी कोई negotiation अगर हुआ है, then it becomes a counter offer rather than an acceptance, right? Okay, so very famous case. इसमें नहीं आता तो कोई बात नहीं, बस याद रखना है, right? रटना जरूरी है. You need to mug it up. You should know the right answer. Now this is something I have directly discussed in the first lecture itself in this channel on YouTube, and I have gone on at length to explain a few tricks and treats about how to read the law, etc, etc, etc. Contract law part 1, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट लॉ का पार्ट 1 का लेक्चर you would easily be able to find a few things. Yes, what is the correct answer? Arfa definitely has the correct answer. ठीक है, that is good to see. Section 2 clause H defines a contract. And what is this definition? What is this definition? Definition is any agreement enforceable by law, right? Enforceable by law. Any agreement enforceable by law is basically a contract under section 2H, which means option A is obviously the right answer as far as this question is concerned, right? 5A अनुष्का ने भी अलग से यहाँ पर करेक्ट आंसर के साथ कॉन्फिडेंस भी थोड़ा दिखाया. Okay, which of the following? So this is something we've started discussing yesterday. We will continue with that discussion today evening at 8 p.m. Yesterday we had already done misrepresentation as well as fraud, right? Misrepresentation and fraud तो हमने already कर लिया है. Misrepresentation and fraud हमने already कर लिया है. अब सवाल ये कि फ्री कंसेंट किस चीज से बेसिकली लिंक्ड है? What is the idea? We still have to discuss undue influence and coercion, right? Undue influence and coercion और ये सब तो अभी भी बचा हुआ है. But what do you guys think here? Which is 6B? Yes. Anushka thinks the correct answer is B for Bombay, which is section 14. And I am very happy to report that Anushka is absolutely right. Okay, very good. Section 14 is the correct answer as far as free consent is concerned. And again, just to remind all of you, you can take a look at yesterday's lecture and today also, today evening at 8 p.m. Sorry, 8 p.m. Today evening at 8 p.m. also we are going to continue with free consent, right? Free consent में हम discuss करेंगे अभी भी undue influence अनड्यू इन्फ्लुएंस एंड कोवर्जन, ये दो चीजें तो बाकी है ही हैं. But also, like I said, yesterday also at 8 p.m. Yesterday at 8 p.m. also we had discussed misrepresentation, and we had discussed fraud, right? So fraud and misrepresentation was yesterday, and today 8 p.m. we are going to discuss undue influence and coercion. If you guys want to join in, some very important and some very kind of important structures, right? Yeah, Anushka is me too, sir. Okay, ठीक है, very good. Arfa, not discounting anybody's correct answers anywhere. I am so sorry if I might have missed it. Okay, from the following features, which is not an essential features of a contract? Okay, essential feature one. Essential of a contract में क्या क्या आता है, और इसमें से कौन सी चीज है जो एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के एसेंशियल में नहीं आती है? Okay, which of these is not an essential? Let's see. Okay, one attempt there. What about the others? 7A, अनुष्का आरफा दोनों ने ए कर दिया है. शुड बी इन राइटिंग. या एग्रीमेंट इन राइटिंग इज नॉट एन एसेंशियल, राइट? इसमें यहाँ पर इनफैक्ट 2 टिक मार्क की जगह मैं 2 क्रॉस कर लेता हूँ, बिकॉज दिस इज नॉट एन एसेंशियल, राइट? एंड पूछा ही खैर वही है, विच ऑफ दिस इज नॉट एन एसेंशियल, विच मीन्स ऑप्शन ए बिकम्स द करेक्ट आंसर फॉर दिस क्वेश्चन. फ्री कंसेंट तो चाहिए ही, अभी हमने देखा है अंडर सेक्शन 14, right? Lawful consideration, lawful object, both are obviously essential and should not be declared void. अलग से ऐसा एग्रीमेंट, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट विद अ माइनर, फॉर एग्जांपल दिस, इसका एग्जांपल क्या हो सकता है? इसका एग्जांपल कैन बी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट विथ ए माइनर. अपने आप ही वॉइड हो जाता, राइट? अभी अपने आप कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ही वॉइड हो चुका होगा तो ऑब्वियसली वैलिड नहीं होगा. बट राइटिंग में होने की जरूरत नहीं है. राइटिंग वाले में यू रिमेंबर आई हैड आल्सो टोल्ड यू द इंडियन रजिस्ट्रेशन एक्ट, राइट? रजिस्ट्रेशन एक्ट 1908, इसमें राइटिंग का रिक्वायरमेंट दिया हुआ है, राइट? स्टैंप करना पड़ेगा, ये करना पड़ेगा, वो करना पड़ेगा. देयर आर सर्टेन कंडीशंस अंडर विच यहां पर राइटिंग इज एन एसेंशियल for sure, but generally, okay, generally it becomes a problem. uh, uh, okay, okay, क्वेश्चन नंबर 8 पे चला जाए. ये तो काफी ही थोड़ा ज्यादा फेमस केस, very popular case. I'm sure a lot of you probably already know the right answer to this one. Which of the following landmark cases dealt with a minor's capacity to contract? Minor's capacity to contract. Disqualification of a minor from entering into a contract. अगेन हम देख रहे हैं कि लालमन शुक्ला एक बहुत फेमस केस, तो ऑप्शन बी में जो दिया हुआ है. बट द करेक्ट आंसर फॉर माइनर डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन, right, the correct answer for minor disqualification is Mohri Bibi versus Dharmo Das Ghosh, which means option A, right? Which means option A is the right answer. Yes, Anushka, option A, question number 8, option A. Yes, that is absolutely correct. Okay, किसने कितना करेक्ट किया है? Have we kept a track of it? I'm not sure. Okay, चलो देखते हैं. Last two questions. Ready everyone? Last two questions for the day. We'll do a couple of more principal fact based questions. Couple of more principal fact based questions. Acceptance of the proposal must be the exact mirror image of the proposal, right? वरना क्या हो जाएगा, हमने पहले ही देख लिया है, वरना वो काउंटर ऑफर हो जाएगा. ऑफर एंड काउंटर ऑफर के लिए what is the very landmark case? Henry versus Wrench. So we've looked at the case also, we know the concept also, and now acceptance of the proposal must be the exact mirror image of the proposal. So must be the exact mirror image of the proposal. Bellatrix made a proposal to Malfoy to sell a wardrobe for rupees 8,000. Malfoy wants to buy the wardrobe for 6,000 rupees. Exact mirror image. यहाँ पर exact mirror image हो रहा है. This is obviously not an exact mirror image. Okay, this is not an exact mirror image because this is a modification. You are negotiating on the price, and whether you are negotiating on the price or something else, it doesn't matter. The moment there is a modification, it becomes a counter offer. And yes, option B is absolutely right. Option B is absolutely right. This is obviously not an acceptance, right? He has not accepted. इतना तो डन ही है, right? अब इसको चाहता है, accept किया नहीं क्या, जो भी है, this is clearly a modification. Even if he were to send the same thing, then also this is not going to be valid. Okay, last question. Last question, guys. Please do drop us a like. एक like भी यहाँ पर होना चाहिए. And the last question for today afternoon. Any agreement entered into with a minor who is below the age of 18 cannot be enforced by law. ठीक है, simple है. Mr. Potter entered into a contract with Lily, who is 17 years of age, to walk his dog every Monday and Wednesday. Lily did not walk his dog on Wednesday. Lily did not walk his dog on Wednesday. Is this contract valid? Is this contract valid? Did not walk his dog on Wednesday. फिर भी valid होगा. ये contract तो वैसे भी valid नहीं है because Lily is 17, right? And any agreement with a minor who is below 18 cannot be enforced. Any agreement. So Lily is 17, agreement cannot be enforced. The agreement is not enforceable by law. That is option B, Bombay, which therefore becomes the correct answer for us, right? Anushka, again, very good. I have seen that you have answered before I have done any tick marks. ठीक है, कुछ hint जरूर, but very good job. Those of you who see the video later on also, please do pause. Please do make sure you're probably just hitting the pause button so that आप पहले से आंसर ना देख लें. चीटिंग मत करिए, और चीटिंग की बात नहीं, मतलब अपने आप से धोखा करता हूँ तो क्या ही फायदा है. The important thing is you should be able to solve the questions and so on and so forth, right? So okay, we'll do a few more questions, longer sessions. I think 10 questions मैंने थोड़ा सा estimate कम कर लिया. We went a little faster because there's not too much to discuss, not too much active participation except the answers, not too many questions. So we will, I'll try to get a few more questions, right? The next time we meet for a practice session or and so on. So maybe 20 questions, we'll try to double it, right? And let's see how much time we take to finish 20 questions. So tomorrow itself at 3 p.m. right? Tomorrow at 3 p.m. okay, 20 questions is the plan. Okay, tomorrow we will do 20 questions on constitutional law. So आज हमने contract किया है, कल constitution के 20 questions is what we will be doing. Please do join in for a practice a few more questions. In the meanwhile, if you're taking any subscription, please remember to use the code DAVE10 for getting an additional 10% discount. And I hope all of you remember already to subscribe, hit the bell icon so that you get your notifications. वैसे तो मैंने आपको time बता ही दिया है. Also, you can of course feel free to join me on the Telegram group so that you're not missing out on any of the real updates about the various classes and so on. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, and I will see you guys today evening with a few more discussions on contract law and so on.